Beginning November 4th, Saturn, the planet that helps us get things done, move forward, build solid, sustainable foundations, is finally moving direct. So where you felt stalled, my friend, maybe where there have been delays or obstructions, or where you've had to do it all by yourself, where you feel like you've had to go it alone, Saturn is finally rejoining the party, helping us move forward in powerful, positive ways. So after being retrograde in the mutable water sign of Pisces for 4.5 months, Saturn is now back at the 0 degree point, the point of all is possible. The world is your oyster, the 0 point. And this is where we're being invited, encouraged to let the past go and go with the flow. So in this video, I'm going to share with you what Saturn direct in Pisces has for you. How is it helping you to move forward? Also in the introduction, I'm going to be sharing the last 3 times that we had Saturn in Pisces and the themes that we can expect to repeat during this transit. Also, who will feel this Saturn direct in Pisces most intensely, most personally. And as always, I will be doing readings for all 12 signs, letting you know in which area of your life, which area of your natal chart, you will be feeling Saturn direct. I will also be pulling an oracle card for each of the 12 signs. And in the introduction, I'll be sharing how we can all best work with this energy. So be sure and listen to the introduction. It's like part 1 of your readings, and I won't be repeating that for each of the individual readings. So before I go further, I want to say hello and welcome if you're new to my channel. This is a like-minded community. You are not alone, my friend. You are here with like-minded tribe. And if you want to learn more about yourself through the astrology, I invite you to subscribe. Hello and welcome back to those of you who've been watching my videos for some time. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your support of my channel. And hello and welcome to my Sunday chat friends. Everyone is warmly welcome to join us Sunday mornings, 9 a.m. Pacific time. This is when we all gather for the premiere of my videos and we can support each other in like-minded tribes. So please join us. I'm Betsy. I'm a psychic astrologer as well as an intuitive life coach, and it is my joy, my passion, my dedication to support you, empower you through the astrology in my videos as well as my professional astrology consultations. I weave together divine insights, intuitive downloads, spiritual principles, and Western tropical astrology. So at the end of the video, I'm going to share with you more about my astrology consultations as well as my coaching so you can get a sense of whether you feel called to work with me. So be sure and stay tuned for that. And I also have a free gift for you. I will tell you all about your free gift at the end of the video, but if you would like to receive my inspirational astrology updates, my weekly updates, go to my website, subscribe for free, and you will receive that instant download immediately. Big picture, Saturn is in Pisces from 2023 to 2026, including the retrograde periods. Saturn takes 29.4 years to orbit all the way around the sun, 29.4 years. So we will not have another transit of Saturn in Pisces until 2052. And most of us will only experience Saturn in Pisces 2 to 3 times in our entire lifetime. So this means that Saturn is working with you in a particular area of your life, which I'm going to share with you in the 12 sign readings. Saturn is working with you to create a solid, sustainable foundation, maybe 2, or if you're lucky, 3 times in your entire life. And I say lucky because even though we often think of Saturn as a malefic planet that brings difficulty and challenges, and sometimes it does, the truth is that it matures us, it grows us, it strengthens us. It helps us to create the life that we most want to create. Saturn traveled from 0 to 7 degrees between March and mid-June of 2023 before it began to go backward. Of course, it doesn't actually go backward. This is the perception that our human minds have. But Saturn went back over the same territory that it covered from March to June between June and November of this year. When this video is going live, Saturn is back at the anaretic degree point of 0 degrees. Anaretic degrees tend to feel more intense. It's a fresh new beginning. It is the 0 point. We can have a completely clean slate here if we want. This can be a rebuilding energy for you, my friend. Saturn will be at 0 degrees until the very last day of November when it finally goes to 1 degree. Why is this significant? Because it means Saturn is moving at a very, very, very slow pace. A very slow pace. It may be imperceptible to you. However, if you are highly sensitive and you're one of the ones who's being most personally or intensely affected by Saturn at 0 degrees, which I'm going to share with you in a moment, if you're one of those people, you may have already felt the shift of Saturn going direct. Things could be coming up, new ideas, new inspirations, deadlines, reminders of things you know you have to get done. Those things could be resurfacing now that Saturn's direct motion is occurring. So who will feel this most intensely? Those of you who have planets or points between 0 and 8 degrees, 0 and 8 degrees of Pisces, or the other mutable signs of Virgo, Gemini, and Sagittarius. Now Saturn will move out of its shadow period mid-February. In mid-February, it will go to 8 degrees. It will finally be in brand new territory, and it will go from 8 to 19 degrees between mid-February and the end of June. On June 29th, it goes retrograde again. So those of you who have planets or points in the mutable signs between 8 and 20 degrees will feel Saturn's motion more intensely from February to June of 2024. And those of you who have planets or points in the water signs of Cancer and Scorpio, you will be receiving a trine from Saturn. So this is really beautiful, supportive energy that comes through with more ease and grace. And the earth signs of Taurus and Capricorn will receive sextiles. This is also positive new opportunities and solutions coming through for you. Now, this said, we all have Pisces somewhere in our natal astrology chart. Some of you have Pisces in more than one house. For example, I have Pisces energy in both my 9th and my 10th houses. Now, it really helps to remember big picture what Saturn's function is. What is its gift? What is Saturn helping us with? Even when it's difficult, even when it's challenging, it is strengthening us. It's maturing us. It's helping us to build this solid foundation that I've been talking about. It builds backbone. It helps us to increase our self-discipline, to be more accountable to the promises we make to others as well as ourselves, often ourselves. It holds us to our responsibilities and our commitments. It helps us to follow through on the agreements we make to ourselves and to others. Because Saturn's a builder, it's about building structures that will support us. Saturn requires us to meet our deadlines, to set clear boundaries. And it brings what we call reality checks. It shows us what's really true. It puts the truth in our face sometimes, so we can't deny it any longer. Saturn rules timing. So Saturn is the great god of timing. It shows us when something is complete for us, when we are graduating on a soul level, for example, when a soul contract has expired. So Saturn rules karma and dharma. And often during a Saturn transit, we have to let something go. So Saturn rules karmic completions. And what can be challenging about that is our ego is not always aware that what we're doing is releasing something, a relationship, a job, a situation, something that is no longer a match to our energy. And it's actually something that our soul is celebrating, but our ego self, our human self, can experience quite a lot of pain or a sense of, no, this is wrong, this shouldn't be happening, when what's actually happening is that we are moving on, we are evolving as a soul. Saturn holds us accountable to be in integrity with our soul's destiny, our dharma. So if you are having a hard Saturn transit, if Saturn is making a challenging aspect to one of your natal planets or points, you may be experiencing delays, restrictions, an authority figure holding you accountable for something, or restricting you from having what you really want. This could feel like pressure, it could feel like frustration, you could feel misunderstood. People can go cold on you. You could feel isolated. You can feel like, oh my gosh, what happened to all my support? I've been doing this all alone. Where are your social life could suddenly get very, very small. You could feel like you're working all the time. You could feel like there's no balance in your life. And some of you may be even experiencing moments or even bouts of depression. I want to validate for you that these are very common Saturn symptoms that will not last forever. They will not last forever, my friend. No, this is not going to be long-term for you. This is just for now. Saturn's helping you to realize the truth of your own inner resources, the truth of your own strength, your inner resilience, building that resilience. Saturn can feel like it's being punishing. It can feel like a killjoy. It can feel like it's raining on your parade. It can even feel like you're going backwards, you're regressing, or that the success that you were experiencing slowed way down, or you can feel like I went backwards, but that actually isn't true. When Saturn goes retrograde, as it's been, we pull inward. We have to focus on the inner work. We're shown things that need shoring up. Our foundation needs shoring up. We're repairing the hairline cracks sometimes. But if we pay attention to what Saturn is showing us, we will reap the rewards. Often we think of Jupiter as the biggest rewarding transit, right? But the truth is that the more work you put in on Saturn, it's difficult, I know. It's difficult, especially during a Saturn retrograde, to feel like you're making progress. But if we put in the work, if we keep persisting, persistence, if we keep doing that, Saturn will give us the rewards that later can even be bigger than what a Jupiter transit would bring. Now that Saturn is going direct, there's a new momentum. You may not feel it until Saturn speeds up a little bit. Like I said, it's going to be at 0 degrees for all of November until the last day of November. But once it starts to move, you should feel some new momentum. You should feel like things are opening up. You should feel people start calling you again. Things start to pick up. Some of you are at a turning point, especially if you have planets or points in the mutable signs. This may be a real turning point for you. You may feel like you are really up against a big decision, a big life-changing decision. Now, because Saturn is in Pisces, which is connected to the 12th house, and the 12th house is the very last house, this is the end of a cycle for most of us. Depending on where it's happening in your chart, that will let us know what may be ending for you. Or you are ending a way of doing something, a way of being within the subject matter of that house. The 12th house is connected to past lives. It's connected to past trauma. It's connected to our subconscious mind. So many of you could be clearing stuff emotionally. Pisces is a deep water sign ruled by Neptune. Neptune wants the ideal. Neptune is a visionary energy. So you could be releasing something emotionally that wasn't a match to your vision or your sense of what would be ideal for you. You could be feeling disappointment or disillusionment. You had a plan or maybe even a fantasy of how you thought something should go, how it should work out, and it hasn't played out for you in that way. So you're releasing that. So I want to validate for you once again that it would be very natural right now if you were grieving something, releasing something, letting go of something, especially past pain. And this could be something that you have grieved in the past. You've let it go. You thought, why is this coming up again? This seems crazy. But as a wise spiritual counselor said to me once, there are many layers. There are many layers. And I know that makes our human self roll their eyes. It's like, oh, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that there are many layers. But remember, Saturn only goes through Pisces 2 or 3 times in a lifetime. So this is really important inner work that we are doing and that many of us have done while Saturn was retrograde in Pisces. Saturn in Pisces focuses on self-care practices, holistic health, our spiritual connection. Many of us are deepening our spiritual connection, our direct line to the divine, as we say. It's the whole of our health, our body, mind, and spirit, including our psychic hygiene, because so many of us are so empathic, we are so sensitive. You could be working on clearing energy, on doing some sort of cord cutting, on forgiveness, on compassion, especially, my friend, releasing any grievances against yourself. Because the 12th house is also associated with losses, I cannot express to you how important it is during this time to release any past losses. Anything about your past where you say, well, I would do this if this hadn't happened to me before, or I am thinking about this, but I'm afraid it's going to work out like it did before. If that rings true to you, We have to let go of identifying with our past experiences, and I know that is not easy to do. Get support for that if it would help you, but you are not the same person you were, my friend. When you had those past experiences, you have evolved. You're a new person now. It's so important to acknowledge that and remember that this is brand new territory. We're in brand new territory. This is a whole new soul cycle for us. So if you wouldn't say to your child or to a student or someone you really care about, better not try that, you might fail. If you wouldn't say that to anyone that you love, my friend, why would you say that to yourself? Saturn in Pisces says, treat yourself like the precious being that you are. And it reminds me of the quote from Mary Oliver that if you've been watching my videos, you know I love this quote. Tell me, what do you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Our time is precious. Life is precious. What are you holding back on and why? We don't know if we're going to get another chance to follow our heart's desire. The time is now. So speaking of time, the last time that Saturn was in Pisces was May of 1993 to April of 1996. The time before that was March of 1964 to March of 1967. And I know there could be one or two of you who are in your 90s. So if you were on the planet between February of 1935 and January of 1938, Saturn was in Pisces then as well. So an example from my own life of that Saturn in Pisces time from 1993 to 1996. Saturn was transiting my 9th and 10th houses. The 9th house rules the law. I was working for a judge. I was her law clerk. I was tasked with doing her research and writing, and those opinions that I was drafting for her were the ones that got published in the law books, which the 9th house rules as well. It rules publishing. Now, when Saturn went into my 10th house and conjuncted my midheaven is in Pisces. When Saturn conjoined my midheaven, the judge I was working for said, it's time for you to move on. This is supposed to be a 1 year or 2 year position at most, and I had been there by then for 4 years. So she said, I'm giving you the boot. I'm kicking you out of the nest. And that was very hard on my ego, I have to say. Even though I knew my soul was restless at that time, I knew that this wasn't what I really wanted to be doing. I really wanted a more flexible position, a work from home position, because my kids were still fairly young at the time. So my heart was really in a different place, but my mind said, no, this is a good job. You can do this. Just keep doing it as long as she wants you. This is like an ideal gig for a mom. But since Saturn in Pisces is tracking whether we are in alignment with our soul or not, my friend, Saturn in Pisces wants us to align with our soul's trajectory. Because of that, I had to move on. In fact, I forgot to share with you, after my judge let me go, after I got the boot from the universe, as hard as that was, that's when I started my freelance career. That's when I started working for myself. That's when I started creating from my soul. And had that not happened, I may have never done that. Now, in case you're wondering, does that mean whatever I'm doing is going to end? Not necessarily. It could be the way that you've been doing something is ending. For example, maybe you're not as compassionate with yourself as you can be. Maybe you're overworking. Maybe you're not attending enough to other areas of your life that need attending to. It's different for everyone, but Saturn in Pisces could be shifting you out of a pattern, a behavior pattern, or a way of thinking, or a way of being that is not healthy for you. Saturn in Pisces wants us to be just as loving, just as nurturing, just as cherishing to ourselves as we are to other people. The other interesting thing about Saturn in Pisces is that it can move us out of being a martyr. It can move us away from being a rescuer or a saver, where we have in the past gotten a lot of ego gratification from rescuing another person, from sort of being the rock for someone else, but in an unhealthy way. Any kind of codependent patterns. Maybe we felt victimized by a situation. Saturn in Pisces wants us to release any of those emotions or those tendencies that don't have us fully standing in our power. So before we do the 12 sign readings, my friend, I want to share with you a few good questions to ask yourself. If you're wondering, do I need to change something? Do I need to let something go? Is it time to graduate or culminate something in my life? A few good questions. Is this situation still working for me? Am I getting my needs met here? Is this aligned with my soul? Am I overdoing anything? Am I leaking out my energy? Is a situation or a relationship draining my energy? And a really important question, is this sustainable for me long term? Is the way that I'm navigating this area of my life sustainable for me? Do I have the energy for this? Am I overgiving? We can really overgive in Pisces energy. It can be really challenging to set clear boundaries, both with other people and with ourselves. We can feel like we have an unlimited flow of energy, but we do not. We're still human. So we want to be really honest with ourselves. If we're giving so much and we're not receiving back what we need in order to keep our cup full. Now, if Saturn in Pisces has brought you, or you're sensing that it's going to bring you some sort of ending, or a sense of disillusionment or disappointment, or a fantasy not matching the reality, or just a reality check that doesn't feel good to you right now. If that's happening for you, your soul is evolving. I hope it helps to remember that regardless of whether the outcome is what you wanted it to be, you're still receiving the soul growth that you were meant to receive from that experience. And on a soul level, that is the win. That is the success. So have compassion for yourself for going through whatever you're releasing right now. It's so important right now to let go of any grievances that you're holding against yourself. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. You did your best with what you knew at the time. And as you reflect on what happened for you, you will be able to see what is the gift for you, what is the gift, what's the learning that you got from the experience, and let it go. Allow yourself to move on, which will open up brand new territory for where your soul is guiding you next. So whatever is going on for you right now, my friend, or whatever goes on for you during the Saturn and Pisces time, it is releasing you. It is releasing you from old contracts and opening you up to new ones that are going to take you to the next level of fulfillment. Okay, my friends, so let's do the 12 sign readings now. Listen to your rising sign. This is the area of life in which you are experiencing Saturn in Pisces. Your sun sign is how you may experience it on an ego, personality, life force, identity level. And your moon sign is how you may feel this in your relationships and in your emotions. So we're going to start with Pisces. Hello, beautiful Pisces. Pisces, this is a really big deal for you. You are having Saturn transit your first house of identity. This is the house of the self. This is the I am, how you declare yourself, how you describe yourself on both a personal and a professional level. When you have a Saturn transit in your first house of identity, anything could change in your roles. Anything could change in your work life, in your relationships, in your family life. Because this transit is happening on an angle of your chart, which is the first house, you could experience this in your family. You could experience it in career. You could experience it in your partnerships. It can touch any of these angles. It really is a time for you in Pisces to let go. Let go. This is ending a cycle of your life. You could feel this in, like I said, ending something in your work. Maybe you leave a job. Also, it can affect your health. You can feel this in your health, in your vitality, because first house is our vitality. It's also your appearance. You could completely change your wardrobe. This is you really coming to a culmination or an ending of something. Now, as I said in the introduction of the video, it doesn't necessarily mean that a structure of your life ends, although often it does. It could be that your way of being changes. You end a way of being. You end a behavior pattern. You end, especially this is because it's Pisces energy, it's on the inside a lot of times. It's how we are talking to ourselves, how we see ourselves. For you, Pisces, because the first house is also your self-image and how you want other people to see you, this could affect you seeing yourself. It's a big paradigm change. It's like a whole new way of seeing you through brand new eyes, and I hope more evolved new eyes of seeing yourself as the spirit of pure love, as the truth of who you really are. If you could see yourself as your guardian angel sees you, as those in heaven see you, if you could see yourself the way that those who see you through the lens of unconditional love could see you, you would be floored. You would be floored, Pisces. You would be floored by your own gorgeous aura. So this is a gift that Saturn and Pisces wants to bring you. So let's pull a card for you, Pisces, and see what the cards have to say for this big change for you. You could be having a new child come into your life. You could be completely moving to a new home. The people in your home could be shifting, especially if you live with roommates, that kind of thing. You could really change up. And some of you will be receiving a promotion. Some of you will start your own business. Some of you will say, I can't do life the way I used to do it. I just can't. Some of you will go through a divorce or a relationship ending. Others of you will meet somebody new during this time and perhaps start a new partnership. Any of these things could happen. This is quite life-changing for you. So, Pisces, your card is Voyage of the Heart. Love flows through you and to you. Love flows through you and to you. You are on a voyage of the heart. This lifetime, beautiful Pisces, is a voyage of the heart. Imagine if you saw your life through these eyes. This card really does speak the language that I was speaking to you at the beginning, the language of the unconditionally loving spirit, reminding you of the truth of who you are. Love flows through you and to you. For some of you, this is saying, there's so much purple in her face, and this is so much about connecting with the divine, receiving divine love. Pisces, if you don't already do it, I highly encourage you to spend some time each day, even if you're doing this for 1 to 2 minutes. You can literally do this in 1 to 2 minutes. You can bring down the love of spirit of your own soul into your crown. Let it move through your body. Let that love come into you. Receive that love. For others of you, this is going to be a new relationship, or up-leveling your relationship, or releasing relationships that no longer serve you. But you're on a voyage of the heart, Pisces. Open your heart. If you haven't felt your heart open, do some heart opening practices, or a heart opening practice, gratitude, for example, so that you can receive all that is your birthright, beautiful Pisces. Okay, Aquarius. Hello, beautiful Aquarius. Aquarius, you are having this transit of Saturn and Pisces for you Aquarian risings in your second house. Your second house is the house of values, self-esteem, self-love, the way you see yourself. How much love are you giving yourself? This is also where we tend to, on an ego level, measure ourselves by our incomes, by how much money we're making. It's the house of self-worth. It's the house of receiving. It's the house of possessions. This is the house of material security. Aquarius, with Saturn and Pisces here, you are up-leveling your life in terms of your material wealth. Whatever wealth means to you, it's different for everyone. You are being tasked to really be mature and fulfill your commitments to yourself and to others around this theme of material safety and security. So you could be having changes that affect your income. You could be getting a new job. You could decide to start your own business. You could be really doing some self-love work and some self-worth work. You could be doing work around money and how you see money, and seeing money as energy rather than all the things that our conditioning can put on money, like really opening up to yourself as an unlimited receiver, for example. Yes, a lot of you are working on these things, no doubt. And Saturn here can feel restrictive. It can feel like your money is coming through as a trickle instead of as a waterfall. And if that happens, it's because there's something that this transit wants you to do to align your life with your soul more, your soul's heart's desires. Something is out of balance with you living in alignment with your soul, if that's happening, Aquarius. Okay, so let me shuffle and let's get further insight from the cards for you. Aquarius, Aquarius, Aquarius. Some of you like it when I sing Okay, Aquarius, this is directing you to solitude. This is directing you to go inward. And we just still do have Saturn at 0 degrees for a whole month. We have plenty of time while Saturn barely inches forward. We can't even say inches forward, while it barely moves forward like a caterpillar. We still have some time to just be, to just receive wisdom. And this says, in silence, peace prevails. So if you're not feeling at peace, if you're feeling drained, Aquarius, if you're not clear on what it is that you want or what you should do to move forward, if you're feeling stalled or blocked, then this card is saying, go inward, get solitude, where you can really connect. See all this light pouring in? This card is saying it's time to really connect with the light and the unconditional capacity that you have to co-create what your heart most wants. Align with your heart's desires. We do that in solitude often. So beautiful Aquarius, if this resonates for you, let me know. I'd love to hear. Leave me a comment. Okay, Capricorn. Hello, beautiful Capricorn. Capricorn, you're having this transit of Saturn in Pisces going direct in your 3rd house. The 3rd house is your local environment. The 3rd house is everything that is going on in your neighborhood. It's your hood. I like saying hood. It is your hood. It is your siblings, uncles, aunts, and cousins. The 3rd house is your communication, writing to people, speaking to people, you're emailing. It's all of your everyday back and forth with other people. So with Saturn here in your 3rd house, you could feel some restrictions, some sort of tightness, some crunch, Capricorn, in this area. It's also, I didn't say your devices and your vehicles, your short trips, it's modes of transportation. You could be feeling some sort of nose to the grindstone. I have to dot my I's and cross my T's here. Now, that said, or something ending, something shifting, maybe you no longer want to go to the same place, whether it is where you do get your groceries, where you work out, where you get your car fixed. Like, it could be anything, but maybe you're going, I need to go to a different yoga studio. I need new scenery. You could really be feeling like you need new scenery. Saturn here is bringing about an ending only if it's no longer in alignment with your soul, or it's showing you where you need to do something differently than the way you've done it before, where you need to do something in a way that's more self-loving, more self-honoring, more cognizant of the truth that your life is precious, that you are precious, and that yes, we may have multiple lives, but we don't know. We don't know. We don't know if this is our last life or not. We don't know how long this life is going to be. Saturn in Pisces says, be in the present moment. Yes, do the things you have to do, but also reminds us of the preciousness of life. So some of you could be feeling like, yeah, I've got to get on it, whatever that is. I'm going to start writing that book. I'm going to do that blog. I'm going to create that presentation. I'm going to start that new business. It's time. You could really be feeling that timing. And remember, Saturn and Pisces for you, Capricorn, is making a sextile, which is new opportunities and new solutions. So this is very positive flowing energy for you. So you guys could actually be navigating this more easily than the mutable signs who are feeling a little more pressure from this, most likely. Okay, so Capricorn, your card. Capricorn, what is your card? Crossing bridges, it's time for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. This is very much Pisces energy, where you are now on a bridge. This is your current or old life. This is your future life. You are moving to your future life, but you're not quite there yet. And on the way is when you heal, connect, mend, and release. So these are your marching orders, beautiful Capricorn. There's something to release. There's something to let go. And a lot of times it's forgiving others, yes, but forgiving yourself, releasing grievances against yourself, putting down the dead weight, the old pressuring responsibilities maybe that no longer are true for you. Maybe they're no longer a match for your energy. Maybe letting go of a commitment or something that is draining you and is not current to your now energy, to your newly evolved soul, beautiful Capricorn. Let me know. I'd love to hear if this resonates for you. Okay, Sagittarius. Hello, beautiful Sages. Sag, you are having this transit of Saturn and Capricorn in your fourth house. Fourth house is home, family, childhood conditioning. This is your living situation. This is also your roots and your sense of belonging, Sagittarius. So some of you could really be doing some deep dive inner work, or have been since March when Saturn went into Pisces, on your childhood. You really could be making some headway in seeing why things happen to you. You could be releasing past traumas. This could be past life stuff too, because I believe we recreate in childhood anything that we didn't heal in past lives. This is very empowering for you. This is a time for you to own your power and to no longer identify with childhood wounds or past life wounds, but instead to claim your power and to come forth as the newly evolved soul that you are. I mean, we're always evolving, right? But there's a new level of evolution every time we have a Saturn transit. And in your fourth house, you could go through periods of feeling quite alone, quite isolated, or just that you want to be alone, Sag. You could have really pulled in. You could be like, I don't know what happened to my social self. I used to do all these things, and especially over the summer since June. Since June to November, you could feel like, yeah, I'm not being nearly as interactive with others as I used to, but that's because Saturn has tasked you with doing some of this clearing work, Sag. And now that Saturn's going direct, you may feel a new momentum in this area of home, family. You could be moving to a new house. You could be redecorating your home. You could be changing up your sense that, like, healing a family relationship. You could be expanding your idea of what an ideal home looks like for you. You could be creating a whole new definition of sanctuary for yourself, really creating a beautiful new living environment, or finally finding a sense of belonging within your own heart, within your own soul, regardless of where you live. Okay, Sag, so let's pull a card for you now. Sagittarius. Sagittarius, your card. Okay, Sag, discovering the truth. You stand in the light of truth. This is one of my favorite cards of this deck. Why? Because he is seeing the truth now. There are people that are walking ahead of him. And when I look at this card, you see what you see, because that's most important. But when I look at this card, I see these people potentially either talking about him, or he overheard something that was a really big deal. Or he's just like, I'm not walking with those people anymore. Those people don't belong in my life. I need to pause and reflect on what I just heard, what I just sensed, what I just downloaded, and what does that mean for me now? How am I going to act differently now? You stand in the light of truth. This is saying stand up for what you know is true. Trust your instincts. Trust your intuition. Don't question what you know, what you sense, what you feel in your body. Your body's wisdom knows, Sag. And from here, and being able to stand in this truth, and maybe that means taking a stand for your life. Maybe that means that something really difficult or challenging is happening with someone else in your life, someone you care about. But you now have to put yourself first. You now have to say, no matter what is going on with others, I will not allow other people's stresses. It's that phrase of not my monkeys, not my circus. I may have that backwards. But whatever's going on with other people, taking a stand saying, I will no longer let that affect my emotional well-being. So, Sag, if that resonates for you, let me know. Or whatever comes to you as I read this card. I would love to hear. Drop me a comment. Okay, Scorpio. Hello, beautiful Scorpio. Scorpio. Saturn in Pisces is transiting your fifth house of true love and romance, your fifth house of fun and adventure, of children, whether they are your own or children that are in your world, and your full out, unbridled, creative self-expression. The fifth house is the house of our own inner child. This is letting ourselves be a kid. This is letting ourselves have fun, be silly, make things up, be spontaneous. This is the joy of life, the joie de vivre of life. Now, Saturn in the 5th house could feel like a killjoy because the 5th house is all about having fun and coming out and being joyful and having pleasure. If the 5th house is pleasure, Saturn could be telling you, be strategic about your pleasure. Make sure you are factoring in pleasure. Make sure that pleasure is a part of what you are doing in your life. Make sure your life is within balance and it's not all about work. Or Saturn here could be saying, what is that creative work of art that you wanted to do? And are you doing it? Are you setting some sort of routine for yourself? Do you have a system to make sure that you're able to do this thing that wants to come out of you, that wants to be expressed through you? Are you doing it? Are you being accountable to yourself? Remember, Saturn's about accountability. Saturn in the 5th house wants you to bring out into the world what your soul most wants to express. Beautiful, Scorpio. So Scorpio, you could also be ending something here. Something could be culminating. You could be graduating from something. This could be a romance ending. This could be somebody that you've dated, somebody that you've been involved with. That could be ending for you. You could be deciding that you're going to take a whole new approach to dating. This could really be a self-love transit here because in Pisces, it is about us cherishing ourselves and feeling cherished by others. And that can feel like a tall order. I know. Cherish is quite an expansive, deep experience. But that's what we all deserve. We all deserve to feel cherished by our loved ones. And the 5th house definitely encompasses children. It definitely encompasses those that we date, and it includes the people that are closest to us as well. In my experience anyway, and I have Scorpio in my 5th house, that does include my deepest, most passionate relationships. Okay, so Scorpio, let us pull a card for you. Let us pull a card for you and see what the cards have to say. For your Saturn and Pisces transit, Scorpio, your card is... Ooh, Scorpio, don't give up. Ascending the mountain. Keep going forward. Has life felt like a slog for you? Now, Pisces is making a trine to your energy. That's pretty nice. You've got a tailwind at your back. You definitely have a lot of support from Saturn right now in Pisces. So what I meant to say with Saturn and Pisces is supporting you. It's trining your energy. But it could feel like this is there's a long haul for you. It could feel like this is going to take some time. It could feel like, this feels very heavy. This feels very weighty. You might even feel, this just came into me, like some of you may even feel, do I have what it takes to succeed in this? I don't even know. I don't even know if this is going to be a win for me, if this is going to be a success for me. And this card is a validation. This card says, yes, keep going forward. Stay with your goal. Keep following it. You will get to the top. You will reap the rewards. Saturn gives us rewards, but often the work that we put in to get there, oh my goodness. I have stories to tell that I won't, but oh my goodness, yes, it can feel like a really long, long slog, and that building can feel a very one little tiny step at a time, but you will reap the rewards, Scorpio, if you stay with it. Okay, Libras, hello, beautiful Libra. Libra, Saturn is transiting in Pisces, your 6th house. Your 6th house of wellness, your 6th house of your everyday health routines, work structures, flexibility, freedom, not freedom, whatever your daily life looks like, this is where Saturn is transiting for you. So with Saturn here in the 6th house, we often do have to deal with some sort of health issue. We often do have to deal with our energy not always feeling as high as it normally feels. Saturn wants you to pay attention to your diet here, your exercise routine, your nutrition. Is your daily schedule, your work, for example, working for you? Is it fueling you? Is it right for you? Is there something you have to let go of here? Some of you could be releasing a job. Some of you could be saying, I'm in a toxic work environment. I have to let it go. Pisces can really bring toxic situations to the forefront to show us what is toxic to us. Doesn't matter if it's not toxic to anyone else in the workplace, for example. Other people may be thriving there, but for you, if that's true, Saturn's saying, gotta let it go. Or Saturn could just be making you really have to work hard in your job. You may say, I love my job, but oh my gosh, there's no balance right now. I am nose to the grindstone 24/7. It could really feel like that. So remember, you are a precious being, Libra. You do need time outs. You do need balance. So give that to yourself. I know it's okay if we have bursts of like having to work super hard. I know a lot of us have to in our work, right? But it's not sustainable long term. And that's another thing Saturn's showing you. What's sustainable long term and what isn't. And if it's not, gotta make changes. Okay, so Libra. Let's pull a card for you and see what the cards have to say. For beautiful Libra's 6th house transit of Saturn and Pisces. Take action with passion, valiant courage. Check out this card. He is riding forward on a horse. He is like, he's going after something. He has something he really wants. Libra, you are no stranger to going after what you want. You are a cardinal sign. You are a go-getter. You are an initiator. You are a self-starter. This is saying it's time. The courage is within you. Borrow courage from someone else if you need to, but it's time to step up and rise to the occasion. There's so much gusto in this card. He's doing it with gusto. I feel like he's going to like find his love. Doesn't it look like that? He's like, I'm here. Don't worry, never fear, I'm here. And I did speak earlier in the video about us not trying to be someone else's rescuer. So Libra, that may be a sign for some of you that if you're trying to rescue someone else, it's time to rescue yourself. Be there for others, yes, but it's time to be focused on your goals, what you most need, and nurturing yourself during this time. The courage will rise up within you if it's not already. Take action with passion and you will reap the rewards. Okay, Virgos. Hello, beautiful Virgos. Virgo, Saturn is transiting your 7th house of partnerships. Oh my goodness. You are really going to be feeling this, Virgo. Yes, you are receiving an opposition from Saturn and Pisces. That is not easy. I believe oppositions can feel like the hardest transits, but it is helping you to reshape and up level in your partnerships. It's helping you to raise your standards in partnerships, to realize that you deserve more. Saturn is saying do the work in your partnership if you have one. And if you don't have one, saying do the work to take your own self-love and sense of deserving and do whatever you need to do to rise to the level of what you want to receive, what you want to attract in a partnership. I would not be surprised if many of you have gone through some tests. Saturn can feel like a test where it is challenging us to up level in a relationship. Many of you are probably going through counseling if you're in a long-term relationship. I know some Virgos who are doing that right now. And that's great. You're showing up. You're being accountable to yourself and to your partner. Saturn says be accountable to you, Virgo. Be accountable to your partner and you will receive and reap the rewards. And it's not always a romantic partner. It's not always a boyfriend-girlfriend marriage situation. It can be a client relationship. It can be a relationship with anyone who has your back and whose back you have. It's saying, yeah. I'm trying to think of some different ways to say it, Virgo, but there really aren't any other ways to say it. It's like show up, suit up, be there. Those are the marching orders. Pay attention to your closest relationships. They need your nurturing right now. And set boundaries. Boundaries too. Okay, boundaries, very, very important. Very, very important. Clear boundaries. Some of you are renegotiating the boundaries in your relationship as well. Okay, your card, Virgo. Virgo, oh my goodness, this is about the calling of your soul, answering the call. The time is now. What is calling to your heart, Virgo? What is calling to your soul? Some of you may feel, I have to release a relationship in order to go through this door following my soul. Some of you may feel that. Some of you may feel like, no, I think I just need to do the work on myself. What if you answer the call of your soul within you? Sometimes all we have to do is make those changes within ourselves, not focus so much on our partnership or what other people are doing, right? And focus more on our own growth, on our own passion, because answering the call to your soul is saying yes to your passion. And then things can sometimes fall into place more easily with a partner. Only you know, beautiful Virgo, what is right for you. Get support if you need clarity. We can certainly do that through a coaching session or through an astrology consultation. But whatever you do, this is a very exciting time of your life. This is a brand new chapter. This is a big life-changing shift for you. Answer the call. Oh, by the way, Virgo, I also have a book called that would support you, and this is called The Magic of Saying Yes, Answering Your Heart's True Calling. So if that is calling to you, check out my book. It is linked in the description box below. Go forth and you shall prosper, beautiful Virgo. Okay, Leo. Hello, beautiful Leo. Leo, Saturn is transiting your 8th house of transformation, death and rebirth, partnerships within which you share resources. This is not an easy transit, having Saturn in your 8th house. You could feel like you really have to be on your toes during this transit, both in your finances and with a partner or with clients and so forth. This could actually be a transit that feels draining to you. I want to acknowledge that. Beautiful Leo, but you are experiencing so much growth here, so much growth. Some of you could be going through some sort of a split up with a partner where you're having to figure out who gets what, for sure. That could be happening for you. This is where you can feel some restriction, some tightness, something ending, no question. But also, it's transforming you, Leo. It is turning you into a whole new person, somebody who can navigate the challenges of life with so much strength, so much fortitude, so much courage. You are, some of you, in that chrysalis. Some of you are still in the goo of transformation, or will possibly be going through that during this Saturn transit, this 3-year Saturn transit. This house also rules debts and loans and taxes and our sexuality. These are all things that can be quite triggering to us emotionally. But with this transit for you, Leo, there is a big, beautiful blooming ahead for you if you're not already feeling it now. The work will be worth it, and this is true with all Saturn transits. They require work. This one is inner work. This is work with a partner often, but once you come through this, you are not even going to recognize yourself. You're going to feel so much more authentic, so much in your own skin, and so much like the person that you came here to be, the next greatest version of the person you came here to be, beautiful Leo. So let's see what the cards have for you. What insight can we get from the oracle cards, Leo, for you? Leo, your card is go slow and take your time. I love this card for you, Leo. The 2 words at the top are fogged in. How is that for Pisces energy? Pisces energy can definitely make us feel like we are in a fog. We can't see more than a few feet ahead of us. If this is how you feel, Leo, this is the divine design. This is the divine plan, is for you to go one step at a time. The 8th house where this transit is happening is traditionally a Plutonic house. And that can be where we feel like, I don't have a whole lot of energy to go through this right now. I don't have a whole lot of energy to navigate this. And this is why this card is saying, go slow and take your time. You're not in a rush. If you're feeling in the fog, do your spiritual practice. Make sure you have a spiritual practice, whether that's meditation, whether that's automatic writing, which I teach you how to do in my book, The Magic of Saying Yes. Do a spiritual practice that grounds you, that allows you to bring in your divine guidance. It allows you to feel the unconditionally loving light of your soul on a daily basis. Receive from the divine, beautiful Leo, so that you do get the nourishment, the love, the sustenance that you need from the inside out, and that will help increase your energy to move through with what you're moving through. This isn't going to last forever. You are going to come out of this. And for some of you, this may be what your partner is going through. Since this is a partnership house, you could be like, I'm actually fine but maybe your partner is going through it, so that could be the case too. But whatever it is for you, I would love to hear. I love hearing from you. I love connecting with you. Let me know, Leo, what's happening for you. Okay, Cancers. Hello, beautiful Cancer. Cancer. You are having a transit of Saturn and Pisces in your 9th house. Now, the 9th house is a lot of things, but big picture, it's expansion. It's where your mind is expanding. It's where your soul is expanding. It's the house of higher learning, whether it's a master's or PhD degree, or it's a certification program in something like astrology or the metaphysical arts. It could be any kind of learning. You are going through a real learning curve right now with Saturn here. Saturn's saying, yep, do the work. Some of you could be going through some sort of visa or other culture, like having to jump through hoops, having to, like, I know for me, this is happening for me right now because I'm Cancer rising and also Cancer moon, by the way, if you're new to me, double Cancer. I'm going through having to renew my residency in Mexico here. And that just came up just a few days before Saturn went direct. So perfect timing. You could be going through something having to do with another culture, some sort of rules that you have to follow in order to get what you need. This is also the house of the law and the house of justice. So some of you could be going through some sort of lawsuit, but it's also long distance travel, and ultimately it's about expanding your view. This is ultimately about you awakening to a new view of life and who you really are, Cancer. This is supposed to really elevate you on a spiritual level. That is your birthright with this transit of Saturn here. But I know Saturn can feel like a killjoy. It can feel quite restrictive. It can feel like this area of your life, whatever it is for you, whether it is learning something new, some of you being in school, or whether it is having difficulties maybe in another cultural situation, or in a lawsuit, it can feel quite restrictive. It can feel like your life has gotten smaller in the last several months, but we are going to be blooming more, beautiful Cancer. We are, as Saturn is going direct. So your card, let's see for Cancers, your card. Cancer. Your card is gratitude. Through gratitude, your joy will expand. This card is reminding you to be grateful, count your blessings on a daily basis, to remember, regardless of what's going on in your life, regardless of how tight Saturn could be making you feel right now, Saturn, to Cancer, that's possible. Although I'm being reminded that Saturn in Pisces does make a trine to your energy, Cancer. And that's beautiful and flowing for you. So that is really nice energy. A lot of you could be building something new here because of that trine energy. You could actually be just really building a solid foundation for you in one of these areas of your life. But when I look at this card, I see her in appreciation. I see her appreciating beauty, especially. In Cancer, I know you are a very creative sign. You do love beauty. Beauty is very important to you. There's a lot of pink here. There's a lot of open-hearted energy. There's a lot of self-love energy here. Remembering to, maybe before you even get out of bed, if you don't have a solid routine in gratitude practice, then maybe before you get out of bed, adding that to you. But there's something here about gratitude for you, Cancer, that is going to expand you and uplift your joy. Let me know if this resonates. I would love to hear. Okay, Geminis. Hello, beautiful Gemini. I have my natal sun in Gemini. Geminis, this is a big transit for you. You are one of the mutable signs that is most affected. You are having this transit in your 10th house of career. This is not just career. This is your vocation. This is your passion. It's fulfillment. It's legacy. What you want to leave to the planet. How you want to use your one wild and precious life. What is most important to you? With a transit of Saturn and Pisces, because this rules endings, Pisces does, because this is often about something leaving your life, something you're graduating from something, many of you could be changing careers during this transit. Between 2023 and 2026, you could have a career change, no question. Or you could be letting go of a job. Or you could be saying, I'm finally going to work for myself, as I did during my past transit that I told you about in the introduction, Pisces transit. where Pisces conjuncted my midheaven and I left the practice of law. So you could be leaving a career behind. You could also be retiring. Some of you may go into semi-retirement. This is a lifestyle change for a lot of Geminis. Some sort of lifestyle change that is about you being more aligned with your soul. I'm getting this feeling right now as I speak about some of you really going on like a quest, a seeking quest, a spiritual quest, especially if you are newly awakening. Many of you could be going on some sort of, it could also be a travel thing where you're traveling the world, or you're just going to having a new experience where you are moving, you're traveling, you're learning something new that is going to change your life forever, Gemini. This is a big change for you, and you know how to navigate change quite well. That is one of the gifts of the mutable signs. So Gemini, I've been shuffling. Let's see what your card is. And your card is the answers are within. This is so interesting, taking shelter. We've had a few cards like this that are still saying, go within, go within. In this card, you can see it's winter time. It's winter time. This is the light. There's a light that maybe you're not sure yet, Gemini. I know I'm trying to navigate a decision right now too. Not to do with my career, but I am navigating a different decision. So some of you may be like, I don't have clarity yet on my next step in something that I know is going to be really important to me. One thing to remember about the 10th house is across from your 4th house. You could be making a change or thinking of moving, making a move, or a relationship change. Because this is the 10th house is an angle of your chart, it can involve any of the angles, your sense of identity, sense of self, a role that you are playing in your work. This could be your home, it could be your career, it could be an important partnership. It could be any of those things. But whatever it is, time to go within. This is where you're going to get your answers. And that's really beautiful because we all have the ability to go inside. We all have the ability to connect with our guidance and receive that. And Gemini, I'm getting this feeling that maybe you've been so busy working or so busy moving around, so busy trying to just stay afloat in some area of your life that you haven't taken the time to go within, and doing so is really going to help you, beautiful Gemini. Okay, Taurus. Hello, beautiful Taurus. Taurus. Saturn in Pisces is transiting your 11th house of community, your 11th house of support from others, long-term financial gains, hopes, wishes, and dreams, friendships, social media. This is the house of fulfillment, really. 11th house is like the house of our wish, like the star card in the tarot. I love this so much for you. This is also the world. Yes, I see the world and the star card giving you a message on two different levels. This really is about you opening up to your heart's desire and receiving it, beautiful Taurus. You are receiving beautiful flowing energy from Pisces. It's a sextile. It's a new opportunity. It is a solution. As long as you are aligned with your soul, that's what that's what this transit is wanting to do. Align you with your most precious heart's desire, with your most beautiful life, Taurus. And I know, Taurus, for you, you are so good at staying the course. You are so good at maintaining structures in your life. But for you, there may be something that's going to be more supportive of you, or maybe you are building a new structure in your life right now. Some of you are letting go of a structure. Some of you are having an ending. Saturn in Pisces can really bring an ending. Some of you are ending the way you did your life, the way you did it before. Maybe you didn't get enough support before, and now you're opening up to receiving a whole new level of support, a whole new level of, I'm getting the sense of like delegating more, just getting other people, your alliances. Some of you will end a friendship. Some of you will release old alliances in order to create space for new ones that are more supportive of your new vibration, of your soul's evolution. You have evolved, Taurus, and it's time to receive the gifts that you are meant to receive. So I'm shuffling the cards for you now, and let's see. And you could be changing something about your online presence as well. And this card is like one poking out. So this to me is your card. So what does it say? It says you are breaking a new trail, Taurus. A breakthrough is at hand. Have you been asking for a breakthrough? Notice that he is kind of in the weeds here. He's completely surrounded by, well, it looks to me like weeds that are too, whatever you want to call them, shrubs, whatever. That's not the point, right? But he's breaking a trail. He's going through it. I mean, this could be corn stalks that are, I'm thinking of the, what's the movie? Build it and they will come. Build it and they will come. That was not the name of the movie. You guys know. Remind me of the movie. Okay, I'll remember it right as soon as I'm done with this video. But a breakthrough is at hand because you are trusting yourself. You are breaking trail. No one has done it the way you're doing it. You're pioneering something. You're doing it in a new way, and it's going to pay off for you, Taurus. As long as you trust yourself, you get the support you need, and you believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, beautiful Taurus. This new trail, this new way of being or way of doing, or this new thing that you're doing is exactly beautifully aligned with your soul. Okay, Aries. Hello, beautiful Aries. Aries, you're used to going first and now you're last. Thank you for your patience. I go in order of the houses. This transit for you of Saturn in Pisces is happening in your 12th house. You are having this transit in the 12th house. What does this mean for you? This means that Saturn is saying it's time for you to take care of you, your inner world especially. This is the house of rest and retreat, rejuvenation. This is where you are really up-leveling a spiritual practice, where you're really increasing your sense of psychic connection. Your intuitive abilities are expanding with this transit. Very important that you have a daily spiritual practice. If you don't, Saturn is saying you need a daily spiritual practice. It could be anything. It could be breath work. It could be automatic writing like I teach you in my book, The Magic of Saying Yes. It could be meditation. It can be anything. The point is that your soul is calling you, beautiful Aries. Your soul is calling you. There's a new calling that's coming through. There's an awakening even for some of you that's coming through. This is a whole new life chapter, and the way to get there is through your imagination, 12th house, through a spiritual practice, 12th house, through a deep dive, treasure hunt, going to the bottom of the ocean, pulling up something that your soul wants you to know. Your soul is aligning you with your most true, enlightened path. Beautiful Aries. So let's see what the cards have to say. And for some of you, this is a rewiring of your subconscious mind. For some of you, something is ending here, like it is for everyone during the Saturn and Pisces transit. But for you, it could be an ending in terms of, it could be a health thing. You do have the 6th house of health and wellness and work right across from you. It could be a job ending. It could be something that you are releasing that was toxic for you. So that you make room for something really healthy and rejuvenating and uplifting for you, Aries. And some of you are just ending old patterns, old routines, a behavior pattern that was toxic to you. And some of you are now awakening to all of your angelic support, all of your spiritual guidance support, some of you could even be having like astral travel kinds of experiences. That would be really cool. Some of you are breaking out of a past life where you felt imprisoned, metaphorically or literally. That just came through. Okay, so Aries, that was a lot. Let's see what the cards have for you. Aries. Tread thoughtfully, narrow pathway. Some of you may feel like life has gotten a bit narrow recently, especially with Saturn retrograde between June and November. You could feel like, yeah, life got very small. You could feel like you're between a rock and a hard place, as we say. But this is not going to last forever, if that's true for you, Aries. It's not going to be forever. You will get through this if it's challenging, if it's difficult. The narrowness of it is helping you to be more resilient. It's building your strength. It's building your maturity. It's giving you long-lasting soul qualities that your soul came here to receive and evolve and do the work on. There is a lot of life in this card. What I was trying to say was light, but I said life. Interesting. There's a lot of light here. This card actually reminds me of, like, I mean, it is deserty, but there are all of these rock spires like we have in Sedona, Arizona in the US, and reminds me of Moab, the Arches National Park. I mean, that's a beautiful mystical area. And this is a mystical house, the 12th house. So there's a lot of mystical connection that you could receive during this transit of Saturn and Pisces here. Go to the light, tread thoughtfully. There is a lot of awakening energy in this card that would be, could be, wants to be your gift. Beautiful Aries. If this resonates for you, let me know. I would love to hear. My beautiful friend, you know what I find so interesting about the recording of this video? The whole time I've been recording, it has been so quiet. It's been so quiet. And normally when I do videos this time of day, there's so much activity. There's so much back and forth. There's so many trucks going back and forth because they're building a new building above me. And I feel that this is like the mystical Pisces energy coming through. Saturn and Pisces saying, go slow, take your time. There is no rush. It's okay to do this in your own divine timing. I wanted to share that message with you. I also want to say thank you so much for being with me today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy, for your presence. Thank you so much for your likes of this video. Remember to give it a thumbs up. Remember to tap the like button. It really helps my videos go out to more people who love astrology. And when you subscribe to my channel, when you leave comments, when you share my videos, you make a huge difference for me in my life. So thank you so much for that support. I am so grateful to you. And if you haven't yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Come be part of our like-minded tribe. Thank you so much for joining us in the chat. If you joined us this Sunday, I'm so happy to be with you for whenever you're watching. I'm so grateful to you for sharing your time with me and being part of this like-minded community. Now, this was a general reading of Saturn in Pisces. If you would like a personal astrology consultation, if you would like to know, how is Saturn in Pisces affecting my chart? When will it touch one of my natal planets or points? Or for that matter, any of the other transits that are happening right now. Lots happening in the sky. We've got Pluto in the last degrees of Capricorn. We have Pluto about to change signs, go into Aquarius. You could be having a Uranus transit. All of the outer planets make big waves in our lives. So whatever is happening for you, my friend, if you'd like support, if you'd like guidance, if you would like to feel more empowered in your life during this time, go to my website, check out the testimonials that other people who've done astrology readings with me have left. That'll give you a sense of whether you feel called to work with me. If you'd like coaching support, I would love to support you in that way as well. I will leave the link below to both my astrology and my coaching pages, and you can easily book your session online. Just choose the session that you would like, choose your time zone, and you'll be able to book it in immediately. As promised, I have a free gift for you, and that free gift is a soothing, guided meditation, reconnecting with your heart, reconnecting with your spiritual guidance. If you would like to feel the unconditional love of your soul, if you would like clarity, go to my website, subscribe for free to my weekly inspirational updates, and you will get an instant download of my free guided meditation. My beautiful friends, Saturn direct in Pisces is moving us forward finally. Let me know in the comments, how do you feel about this Saturn direct? I'd love to hear. Until my next video, I am sending you all my love.